Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video of the Cauldron and pretty much my experience in there. The ad fights are pretty easy, so I'm just gonna do bosses and we'll get straight into the video. So this first boss, he's pretty easy. You just keep him where he is, keep him taunted. All you gotta do is just make sure you don't stand in his poison AoEs for too long. He has a heavy attack and a bashable. He'll pretty much throw up in the air and make these blobs. The ones that are moving towards him, try and debuff him before they get to the boss. If you can't, it's fine. Other than that, the DPS has to bring him down before they reach the boss, so they don't make him as powerful. If you don't block his heavy, it's a one-shot. But yeah, that's this fight. It's pretty much rinse and repeat from here. So this next boss, the second boss, is probably the most annoying boss in this fight. There are a few mechanics you want to watch out for as the tank. She's going to do two types of heavies. A heavy where she whirls her hammer into the air and then slams into the ground. She'll have a giant electrical AoE that forms on the ground. You want to stay out of that. I would flank her the whole time, just to keep room for everyone in the arena. For other heavy, you want to make sure you block. Every so often she'll have a channeling AoE, not AoE, haha. She'll have a channel that you'll have to interrupt, or someone else will have to interrupt if they are within range, or they have crushing shock. What I decided to do is to switch sides once that AoE has disappeared, and once the space I have behind me is basically out, because I don't want to run out of room with the AoE. Other than that, just avoid the smaller AoEs because they stun. The smaller adds aren't too big of a problem. If you can, chain them in. If not, it's fine. They don't do a whole bunch of damage. Other than that, if she gets stuck in her AoE while she's doing a channel, then you have a small opportunity to try and get into the AoE basher from range, and then just get out if no one else can interrupt her. Otherwise, that's the fight. This next boss has a few mechanics, but he's pretty stationary. First off, he'll move around the arena through a fire trail he'll create, and you want to just try and follow that trail as best as you can if you can see it. He will spurt out lava pools from his chest, just avoid the AoEs. He has a heavy where he puts a lava pool on the ground. Just try and put it on one side of him and then just jump on the other side. You could take his cleaves and then you just have an interruptible to bash. Other than that, he'll spawn little atros around the arena and you can taunt them, but that doesn't make much use, I don't think, in my opinion, because they're stationary, so they would attack you, but they wouldn't move anywhere. Other than that, that's pretty much all the mechanics of the fight for the tank. Just make sure to keep moving when you need to, and you're good. This boss fight for the tank gets progressively harder. There's not necessarily like a boss. There's just waves of significantly harder adds. Just get all the big adds that move and just gather them as best you can. Sometimes they won't move or be chained in, that's fine. Just try and get them all debuffed and close together as much as possible. Make sure you look out for the armored Daedra. They have a very powerful fire breath, and you definitely don't want that on any of your teammates, and you definitely want to block it for sure. You want to make sure to gather or bring him to the adds or close to them so he can die as fast as possible. So this is the percentage you want to keep your eyes the most open for. You have to catch all the big enemies, so the Flame Titan, the Colossus, the Ogrum, anyone who's basically really threatening to the team. I try and keep them together. It's a little bit difficult, but it's definitely doable. Just try and keep them as close as possible so the DPS can burn them down. Alright, there's a couple things with this last boss as a tank to know. Of course, keep the boss taunted at all times. he will do a few mechanics. He has a few cleaves. They hurt a decent amount. Just make sure you're blocking his heavy because it will one-shot you. He has a cleave that has a really wide cone that will charge people that are in the cleave. It's hard to avoid, but if you do get the charge, just don't overlap the charges. They increase the ticks of damage. Other than that, just avoid the firewalls on both sides. Try and walk on the innermost part of the circle so you have more leg room, so to speak, and it's pretty much rinse and repeat. What I try to do is that once the wall stops, I switch the boss around to the opposite side, because no matter what, he's going to start on the same side, and then he's going to switch it back and forth. So as long as you do that, you kind of help to position your team a little bit too, so they're a little more aware of the wall. But as long as you're watching for the boss to slam his hammer into the ground, you'll always know when the walls come up. So you'll have less than 2 seconds to run from it. But those would be the two indicators: the tank positioning and then the boss mechanic. And then that's it. You just have to make sure as the tank you stay alive and block. It will get progressively harder as more ads come out, especially with the armored Daedra. Well, they're magma Daedras, but in the earlier parts of the dungeon they're armored, but either way they do a lot of damage with their fire breath. And that's pretty much it. Alright, I really hope you guys like this video. I'm sorry I'm not more experienced as a tank. I definitely am not experienced as a tank. I'm just doing things on a whim, but it's been fun. And if you guys have any questions for me, just let me know. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye!